Hello and welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP.
And Stacy D.
I'm JP Craddock, and that is the one and only Stacy D Love. We are broadcasting here on KUAW Radio. That's knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. The number to call into the show is 816-599-6893. If you have any comments about anything that we discuss on the show today, feel free to put those on the Facebook live or on YouTube, and we will respond to those comments. Coming up on the show today, actually, we're going to do a special show today of just mental health and illness in the news. We're overflowing.
It's enough of it. It's enough.
We're overflowing with more illness than mental health in the news. So we are going to be covering that. But before we get to that, let's do our check-in. How is the day?
The D is doing really, really well. Life is good. I just got 2 more names for my precious woof woof baby. Heaven. And I forgot the other name. Hell, I'm 53 years old. I can't remember all that.
I thought, is it a boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Okay.
So
I guess
Heaven, and I can't think of another name. It was Heaven. Oh, well, girl. It was my nail tech. She gave me.
Okay. This is for those of you who missed the show last week. Stacy D has been trying to name a new puppy for months. The dog's about 10 years old at this point, still trying to get a name. No, it wasn't
She
born.
was born October 6th.
It wasn't.
But she does not have a name. And the breeder is like, Stacy, we really need a name, so they can try to get her acclimated to her name, them calling her a name. I just don't have a name.
Okay, when was she born?
October 6th.
Okay. You have a long list of names at this point, Stacy.
Quite a bit.
You might want to narrow it down.
I've been trying.
I mean,
but I like Heaven.
You don't want the dog to be 7 years old in dog years before she gets a name.
Before she gets a name, exactly.
Heaven is cool, but there was something. You had a better one. There was a better one.
I know it was Queenie, Royalty, Majesty. Queenie, Royal Majesty, Precious. I got another name. One of the listeners gave me Precious or Princess. Sugar.
They're all good names.
Sugar, because she's white. So I said Sugar.
Pure white.
Pure white.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. That's good. Well, when is the dog coming home?
As soon as she get at least 2 pounds.
How long does that take? The dog was born
October 6th. She's like, when I called the breeder yesterday, she was like 1 pound and 6.5 ounces last week.
Okay.
I mean, they're little bitty puppies. Like literally, when they give birth, they most definitely gonna have 1, maybe 2 babies.
Wow.
Yeah, she's never supposed to get no more than 5.5 pounds, 6 ounces. 5.5 pounds to 6 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A very small breed. Very small breed.
I mean, it's taken a while to get her home. So they need to feed what's going on? Because she's still feeding.
Off of milk right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they need to put a little chitlin juice in
Chitlin
the milk
juice in.
to fatten up the dog.
Yeah, because I already went and bought my food. I got the water because she drinks special water. I got because when they're that little, they can get hypoglycemic.
Okay.
Yeah, they can get that. And, now we have seen the light. Yeah.
It's good to see the light.
It's good to see the light. But yeah, it's just a lot with that breed. You have to be very, very careful. Also, everyone, please like us on Facebook and YouTube. We want to know who's all listening, who's liking us. I'd like to get a shout out to my brother who's listening. Hey, baby brother. No, little brother, JoJo.
What's the difference?
It's different between a little brother and a baby brother.
You mean he's not the baby?
He's
in the
not my
family?
baby brother. He's my little brother.
Okay, a little It aren't all little brothers baby brothers because they little
No,
brothers.
well, not to me, because I'm the oldest, and I had a
Okay.
little brother and a baby brother.
Oh, okay.
And anybody know, honey, I'll get down. Y'all mess with my brothers.
All right.
They
all
knew
right.
that.
So this is little brother
This is my little brother.
checking out the show.
Check out show. Oh, he
For the
watches.
first time.
No, he watches every Thursday.
Okay.
I just forget to say something to him. Joe Williams.
What's
Love
his
you.
comments? What does Joe have to say about the show?
Nothing. He just be listening.
Did Joe have any thoughts on Proverbs 31 woman?
He was just like, sis. Well, he calls me sissy. He was like, sissy, you be doing that. Look at my sissy. Oh, devil. Like, when I was a little girl, they used to call me devil baby because I was like so bad.
A
Like,
heathen.
yeah. He was like, look at old devil baby. The devil's baby. And look at me up here reciting stuff and getting it right. Yeah, he enjoyed it. He
Hallelujah.
really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And then also one of my best friends, Michelle. Hey, baby, I know you watching. I talk to you all day long. We talk
Stacey
all
Lee,
day
why
long.
you shaking them cameras again?
Well, you know what? Then we need to get a better
The
table.
D. No, you shake cameras at your house when we do remote too. You a camera shaker. You a camera shaker from way back.
A camera shaker.
You a camera
Look
shaker.
in the Webster dictionary and give
I
me
just
the
made it up. It won't be added to the dictionary for another couple of years. Okay.
Okay, camera shaker. Okay, you gotta put your hands down. I'm gonna sit on my hands.
She gonna say, listen, to those of you, let me tell you why this is an issue. Because Stacey D will shake that camera so much that my camera readjusts and it looks like I'm talking to Stacey D's breast. Okay?
The milk duds.
So camera shaker. All right.
The camera shaker. Okay.
All right. For those of you who, hopefully your brother watched Proverbs 31 Part 2 live while we were doing it.
He watches all of them because I'm his big sister.
Okay, he watches it live. Okay, because on our Facebook page, I took it down from there because there was some technical difficulties. So
Which one?
hopefully,
2 or 1?
Two.
2.
One has some difficulties too, but not.
Well,
not,
we most definitely going to redo those 2 shows, and also the Cheater Show.
Yes, definitely. We did a show on why people cheat, and
You know what? I think in February, I think we really gonna have to do something.
you can't do cheaters in February around Valentine's Day. You're gonna jack up everybody's Valentine's Day.
Okay, everybody. I need everyone to try to help us to think about what is it that we need to do for February. We're gonna have like a day party or something like that.
That's
come
a good
on.
idea.
We're gonna have some flash dating. No, what's that? Quick dating? What is it called?
Speed dating.
Speeding. We're gonna have some speed dating. Hopefully, we might be able to have like a little panel, have a couple of people out.
This is a wonderful idea
Yeah, I think we really need to do that
because
for February. Not to mention, it's gonna mark our 1-year anniversary. We've been on the show ever since the last Thursday in January.
has it been a year?
In January, it will be a year. In January.
I like this idea, and
Bye.
we can.
See, now I'm in trouble
Stacey D.
again. I know.
Why the
Because
hell?
he waved. I'm
Stacey
sorry.
D. Okay, Professor, don't wave at her when you leave in the studio because she has ADHD and she's distracted, and she will forget that we on the air right now. Stacey D.
Yes.
Stop talking to people who come in this station.
Okay.
Stop saying bye to people who
Tunnel
leave this
vision.
station.
Tunnel vision.
We keep it so real on here. It's ridiculous. Okay. Now, you made me forget what I was saying.
We was talking about February. We're needing to do something.
Yes. And we had talked about this before. This is a great idea. I really like the idea of speed dating. For those of you listening to the show or watching the show, if you're watching it on Facebook, post some comments to us on your thoughts on that. I know so many single people who constantly talk about having trouble meeting someone. There's no one to date out there, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
don't have them problems.
You shouldn't be having those problems, Stacy D.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you shouldn't be having those problems. I'm talking about the people who
Even
are.
before I was married,
I'm talking about single people.
I never had a problem with dating. I mean, you meet people at the Walmart. Even I'm talking about the internet, but the Walmart, the Quick Trip. I can just be like walking down 18th and Vine, and somebody will pull over and be like, "Excuse me."
Are they dateable people though?
Well, I have to go out on a date to get a free meal first.
You just mentioned Walmart and the streets.
Quick Trip and the streets.
Who the hell, Stacy D? People want somebody who's dateable, not somebody off the streets.
Well, you got to go on the first date to see if they dateable. Am I right or wrong? I at least have to go out one time and get the free meal. Or if he talk about Dutch, then he most definitely is check mark no.
Okay. Let me say this. Nothing against, I myself shop at Walmart, okay? So I like Walmart.
Shop. They be shopping me.
They
are the hunters.
I don't want to offend any Walmart shoppers. My
okay,
point
the Hy-Vee then. How about the Hy-Vee? That's a little more.
No, we're going to talk about Walmart.
Or the Target.
No. We're going to talk about Walmart. Okay. Nothing against people who shop at Walmart, okay? Because Walmart has patties, pies, cobblers, and everything, okay? You need to be up in Walmart. But Walmart does get the occasional fool up in there. True or false?
They everywhere.
Yeah, this is true.
They are everywhere.
But I think it'll be nice for us to do the speed dating thing because are we going to somewhat screen the people to not screen them, but we're going to, if we do speed dating, we're going to make sure that it's not like insane people. It's going to be.
How are we going to know they're not insane or not? Insane people be acting really real people-ish.
Well,
I think I just made another word, real people-ish.
That's not going to make it into the dictionary. I don't think that's gonna make it.
Okay, that was not gonna make it. Okay.
The people-ish people.
Why his words?
Well, because I did kind of like it.
The real people-ish.
I did kind of like that.
If y'all can see, we're having a good old time up in here today. Hopefully, we won't have no technical difficulties because Mr. Walker is this close
to getting fired. Okay, I thought that speed dating don't the people sign up in advance. You don't just open the door and let any random person off the street come in and sit down and start speed dating.
Okay, you got us doing a whole lot of work. You got a whole private practice. I got a
whole
lot of
okay, for our potential speed daters, we are not trying to get all up in your business, but can you, and they can email this information, can you just send us your name and are you employed? We do want employed people, right?
Well, not everybody have to be employed. They might be on a disability or something.
Okay, you need to have income.
Need love too.
Okay, you need to have some income because we're not setting up speed dating for just your random.
They might be their caregiver, and they might get a date and a job.
No, we do not want.
Come on through Aspire Home Healthcare. We will hire you as long as you got a clean background check.
Listen, we need you to have a job before you show up to our speed dating event. Now, the Metro, which is the bus company here in Kansas City, for those of you who are outside of the Kansas City metropolitan area, which is Kansas, Kansas, Missouri, they are short 60 employees, and they start at $30 an hour.
Who do?
The Metro bus company.
You know what?
And they have tons of overtime. They pay double time. So do not show up at our speed date event without at least getting a job. You better drive a bus. You better clean a bus. You better do something. Okay. So this is what we need of our speed daters. You need to be employed. We don't care what race or ethnicity, right? We're not caring about that. You can show up and be purple as long as you got some meds that help with your condition. Okay.
With your purple
with your purple condition. You need to be employed. What else do we need for them to They're not going to tell us if they are sane or not. An insane person is not going to say I'm insane. This is the honor system. If you are crazy, please do not show up for the speed dating event. Don't do that. It's not fair to whoever that might meet you and fall in love. All right, so just employed and stable. Send us just some general information. Actually, if you have ever used a dating profile, that type of information is good. Stacy D, do you know anything about dating from apps and profiles? You don't know anything about that because you were busy meeting people at Walmart and off the streets.
Walmart, Quick Trip, Hy-Vee, Tarjay, off the street, 18th and Vine. Don't let it be no backyard boogie at the park or nothing.
What in the world is a backyard boogie? A backyard boogie?
Yeah, when you at the park and everybody just at the park, got the cars, the music on.
Swope?
No, we ain't even got to be a swope. We gonna keep it in Wyandotte.
Okay. All right.
Keep it up there at City Park. I mean, Parkwood Park. Everybody just out there just kicking it, having a good time. Backyard boogie. No fighting, no gunplay. Just having a good time like we used to back in the 80s and the 90s, man.
We probably should do a whole show because I know a lot of people who cannot find anyone to date, and clearly this is an area of specialization for you, Stacy D.
I don't have a problem. I never had a problem with men finding me.
I don't know how you not having this problem because
you know when we used to go out back in the day.
That was back in the day. Nobody was having a problem back in the day, but in modern times,
only thing that changes is the scales and the zip code. What?
The scale. Well, here's something to think about. I have noticed that young people, because people in our generation, a lot of them have given up on using dating apps because they have had nightmarish experiences. And so I know single professional women who are like, I'm never doing that again. But what I have noticed from seeing college students in therapy is they have a huge amount of success on the dating apps.
Because that's their era. That's what they do. They all techie.
They know how to do it.
Mm-hmm, they know how to do it.
And
you know what? I'm going to do it, you guys. I'm going to put me a profile on one.
This is a good idea.
See what happens. I'm going to see what happens.
This is a good idea.
I'm really going to do this and see how... Ooh.
We need to do it on the show.
We're going to do it on the show?
We need to do it on the show.
Okay.
And
can we do that, Mr. Walker?
Can we catfish somebody?
Yeah. I'm not cat. Wait a minute, I might fall in love.
No, this is what I mean by catfishing somebody because this can we create a person? I guess that's unfair to do because you're going to have to go out with the person, though.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I love free meals.
Okay. We need to create a person on the air and figure out what does it take in order to be successful. I will ask my young college student clients, what in the heck are they putting?
Ask them what type of picture to put on there.
Bam. Okay. What do you mean? It needs to be a real picture because we're not going to
I know.
actually
but what type of picture? What type of picture?
A picture of the
whole body, or did we just need to do it from the neck up, the whole body, with like one of my little dresses on?
I don't know what kind of pictures they usually use. That's why you got to ask
the kids. Like, should it be a whole?
I've never even seen a dating app.
Well, I'm sure you got to do a picture.
You got to do a picture. I assumed it was just a headshot.
You got to ask.
Let's ask Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker, don't know. You got to ask some of the professionals now. They know the 80s. Oh Lord.
Mr. Walker hasn't dated since the 80s. He is the last person we should be asking about this. They didn't even have the internet. All right.
Oh, you know what? They didn't, did they?
Listen,
didn't have any apps. Didn't even have phones, cell phones.
True. There's a generation gap that young people are having so much success with these dating apps, and people in their 40s and older have not gotten it right. In fact, even my clients who are in their 30s have had horrible success with this. It's the 20-somethings that have figured this out. And according to them, they're using their actual pictures. They're not using some model photos, some stock photo from a model, or what was those what was that social media
Glam
page
shots.
that we talked about that you said there's models on there that be half naked?
I don't know. I forgot. Instagram.
I think that's it.
Instagram.
Okay. They're using their own actual pictures and their own like information. And I have had clients who end up finding someone and dating the person like for like years. And a client was telling me yesterday that her daughter met her husband through the dating app, and
Really?
he is reportedly this incredible person. So for those of you who are not as successful as Stacy D, with meeting good quality people at Walmart and on the streets, we gonna set up a profile. The D is we're gonna figure this out.
We're going to figure it out.
How people can be successful with internet dating. We're gonna figure this mess out.
I think this is going to be good. This is good and interesting. This is good stuff, JP.
Okay, next week, can we give our listeners more information on our anniversary speed dating? We're going to have a little
Valentine's
panel
stuff,
discussion. We're going to be talking about love and making love work.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about some of the things that destroys love. We're going to have to talk about cheating and, different things like that. Monogamy and the alternatives to monogamy, because
yes, I found that out.
in modern times,
Boy, what is it called? I sent it to you that one time. When you can just have all type of relationships. Free spirit. It's the 2020
poly.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Flower child stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you are a little too excited about that.
I just love free love.
Your husband clearly is not watching the show today.
No, he's not. I just really love free love, and why do you have to put titles on stuff?
So this is going to be interesting to talk about, because this is something that has always been frowned upon, but more modern couples have decided, well, I think I can preserve my relationship and still be able to have sex with people outside of the relationship. We need to talk about whether or not that is true, that your core primary relationship can be unaffected by a little swinging.
Little swinging?
Well, swinging is a different... There's swinging, there's
swung,
there's couples who have a committed relationship with a third party, or it can get real freaky. We're going to take a look at all of that for the panel discussion. Okay, so...
And some of those relationships do not even be sexual.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, some of them are not.
Some people just want to hug and cuddle.
Lover, like really, was it not a homie lover friend, but just that, yeah.
That's from the 80s.
That's from the 80s, boy. I just went there.
Called something else down.
Yeah, it's probably called something else. Just someone that they can talk to, they can go out and eat and hang out with and go to the movies, the plays, and things of that nature. It doesn't even be sexual.
So that is good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we want you all to be open-minded. We're not encouraging running out and sleeping with 10 different people, unless that's your thing. We are, we want, there's a spectrum.
Yes,
like you said, some people just want somebody to hang out with and, companionship. So we're going to take a look at that. Okay, here's my check-in.
Check-in? Because mine just went for 25 minutes.
Well, because it was
and
good.
It just went to a whole lot of other stuff.
Well, you took us in a direction.
But we started talking about my dog.
Well, you took us in a whole nother direction, though, with the whole speed dating and all that good stuff, okay? And us catfishing somebody. It went there. It went there.
You said about catfishing.
All right. Working from home here's the thing about working from home. This has been coming up in therapy with my clients, and it came up in my own house.
Almost everybody going back to the office now.
Ain't nobody went back. Well, some people have gone back.
The feds are going back the first quarter.
A lot of people are going to be permanently working from home.
My daughter is. It's permanent.
And here is the thing, and I love working from home. I am going to have to go back to doing some office sessions at least 2 or 3 days a week. But in order for working from home to be successful, your spouse, your family, your kids, they have to respect that time. And this is what I need for my wife to understand. Just because
she works from home too now.
Right. So why I'm trying to figure out why she'll understand this. Just because you see me walking down the hall or see me in the kitchen, you don't see me because I'm at work. You can't ask me to do stuff.
How you at work and you walking down the hall?
Well,
or in the kitchen. You got your phone, yeah?
Well,
okay, yeah, finish. Yeah.
I would be the same way I'd be in the kitchen at my office if I was going into the office, in between sessions or, this is what happened. I'm blocked
Hold on
off.
a minute. JP, don't go too far because she listens. And I don't want no problem going at home.
No trouble when I get home.
Action. Go back. Come on.
This is what happened today. I purposely did not schedule a 12 o'clock session.
Thank you.
So that I could get here nice and early like I did today.
At what time?
I pulled into the parking lot at about 1:35. I was waiting on Stacy.
Stop doing them unnecessary lies, JP. Unnecessary lies. Everyone, I am always on time and actually a couple of minutes early, okay?
What time did you get here?
I got here at 1:45. Actually, before that, because I was on the phone. I have to talk on the phone. So I probably put up about 1:40.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I pulled into the parking lot at about 1:41.
No, because I didn't
right
get
after the D
got in and got out.
Listen, I got here early. That's my point. Okay. I got here early. I did not know that Stacy D was here because she parked somewhere where she ain't got no business parking. Those aren't even official parking spots. And
I'm the queen.
My point is, I blocked off from 12 to 1 to do stuff I needed to do. And my wife is like, "Oh, well, can you do such and such?" No, I'm in session. It don't look like you in session.
You already blocked out.
Because, right, and even if I'm not, I'm still working, even if I'm not in session. And so I was trying to get her to understand that, Mr. Walker, I was trying to get her to understand during my work time.
I just want everybody to know.
What? What is that?
You called me at 1:52 talking about open the door.
Well, that's after I had sat in the car waiting on you forever, Stacy D, thinking you were late.
I called Mr. Walker at 1:46 to open the door for me. So, JP got here at 1:47, everybody.
Okay, whatever time I got here, I was early.
Yeah,
maybe not as early as I thought. But I'm trying to get her to understand. If I block off time that is work time, it's to do something work related. You can't ask me to start doing stuff around the house like I'm at home. I'm not at home.
What did she ask you to do, JP?
She asked me to go downstairs and get Sasha's food stuff together that she needed to be doing, because I was in session, even though I wasn't in session. Even though she saw me, she did not see me because I was in session. So for those of you who are working from home, explain to your spouse, your kids. Just because I'm working from home does not mean I'm at home. You people need to pretend that I am at the office. I'm not here. You don't see me. Don't ask me to do things. Don't ask me for things. I'm not here. You don't see me. Am I right, D? When you working from home,
I've been working from home for over 25 years.
do your people respect
Hell,
that?
no, they don't. Don't nobody respect me. I'm the pick up people's kids. Can you come bring me something to eat? Because they working from home, and I guess their job is more important than mine. I pick everybody up from the airport, take everybody to the airport.
It ain't right.
It's not right. It's a little disrespectful.
You're working.
I'm working. Well, people say I don't have a job either, so.
They in a house, ain't they? They in a house. Because if you didn't have a job, they would be on the streets, under a bridge.
They swear I don't have a job. It's like, you don't even have a real job.
That's the other thing. People who work from home oftentimes get treated like they're not working. And it's like, just because I'm at home does not mean that I'm not working. I'm still working.
Still working.
I may have my pajamas on, but I'm still working.
Still working. Let's get to our mental health and illness in the news, JP.
All right, mental health and illness in the news. We need to start off with the Ahmaud Arbery case. A little update on that. His killer, the actual killer, is 3 killers, but one who pulled the trigger. Mm-hmm. This is a hillbilly named Travis McMichael, okay? And he's especially awful. He actually took the stand, which is not common for people to take the stand in their own defense.
Why? Because he think he didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. And hearing him describe in great detail how him and his father and this other gentleman pursued Mr. Arbery, yelling and demanding for him to stop, pull over, we want to talk to you. They rationalized that this is the level of entitlement in racist white people. They feel like if I see you and you black,
and I tell you to stop, you better stop. Who in the hell are you?
Even though it was a public street, he was not harming anybody. It came out in the trial that he was not guilty of anything. He didn't have a weapon. He didn't do anything threatening. But that racist sense of entitlement that
White privilege
goes all the way back to post-slavery, that if we see you and you black on the street, we have a right to stop you and question you, hold you up, put a gun in your face.
like you, the popo.
And interestingly, they are former law enforcement. I thought it was just the father that was former law enforcement. Well, apparently the son is as well. And so he's running, and they're acting like that made him suspicious or that made him a criminal. But he's running because he is a black man in America. 3 hillbillies are chasing him in a pickup truck with a Confederate flag on it with rifles
You better
and
run
shotguns.
too.
Rifles and shotguns. Why wouldn't he be running? I wish that the prosecutors would have asked them, if you were running down the street and 3 black men rolled up on you, they wouldn't probably be in a pickup truck with a Confederate flag, but 3 black folks rolled up on you. They in a low rider with some tinted windows, and they pull guns out and tell you.
Escalade.
They hit an Escalade, and they pull up and tell you that you better stop, and we want to ask you some questions. Would you stop? I wish they would have asked them, would you stop? If you was,
Hell no.
and if this was and I believe it was a predominantly white neighborhood, I sincerely doubt that they would stop if they were running through a predominantly black neighborhood and was pulled up on and guns put in their face. They're acting like they didn't understand why he was running. He was scared. And rightfully so, apparently, because he is now dead. And so it's just ridiculous hearing them rationalize this behavior and act as if they are oblivious to how that would affect a person who's literally minding his own business, trying to go for a run. It's crazy. It's crazy. Here's something that is a problem. That Georgia community, oh yes, running through the South, mind you. That Georgia community is 75% white, 25% black, but the jury only has one black person on it, 1 out of 12, which is about 8%. This gives me cause for concern that these 3 bumbling idiots might get off, because the defense got the jury that they wanted. There's only one black person on the jury. Now, black preachers have been showing up, and there's been protests because Reverend Al Sharpton and Reverend Jesse Jackson, and today there's a fullness of like 100 preachers showing up, and the defense is having a problem. I think
it was the Baptist preachers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
convention. Mm-hmm.
Well, because he's protesting their presence, so they're like, we gonna show up and do a prayer wall and pray and all these things that need to happen. Like, and expecting the judge to ban preachers. Nobody else is banned. You can show up at the courthouse if you want to and sit in there, but we're not gonna allow the preachers to show up because they're famous. Back to the entitlements. Absolutely crazy. Here's something. These 2 fools are former law enforcement, but they somehow they're somehow claiming to not get it, that there's no law that says that a person can't run down the street. And this whole citizens arrest thing, and
I live at hell. I see people running out all day, every day.
And you better not mess with them people. And so this whole citizens arrest, we have a right to do citizens arrest, and they suspected that he had been,
So why they didn't call the police and just follow behind him in a peaceful, nonviolent way? Right. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Exactly. And so by the time they called the police, they had already...
By the time they called the police. So the police was not their first thing to do.
No.
They took it in their own hands.
Well, the young fool told his daddy to call the popos, but his daddy was so busy getting his .357 Magnum, he did not take time to call the popos. He didn't have his phone or something like that. He got his gun, but he didn't get his phone. And so Junebug or Cletus, he, in the midst of all of this,
start making up names, everybody.
Yeah, I'm making up names. He ended up saying, we're calling the police. At that point, they had been chasing Ahmaud Arbery through the streets, blocking him, heading him off. They had done too much. And I can see him still saying, okay, you called the police, but I'm scared of them too. I'm not going to stop and let you 3 bumbling idiots with rifles and shotguns and .357 Magnum hold me up and think that y'all are not going to kill me. No, I don't see the police, so I'm gonna keep running. I don't blame him. He had the nerve to say that this was a traumatizing. This is what Travis McMichael, the shooter, this was a traumatizing incident for him. He talked about how traumatized he was from killing somebody,
an innocent person.
And they showed the video of the actual murder. It was horrifying. Horrific. It was just horrible. So this fool is on the stand talking about how traumatized he was, and even went so far as to say, and I'm quoting, "This was the most traumatic event that I had ever been through in my life. I wanted the prosecution to say to him.
He inserted himself in that situation.
He sought the trauma that he was so-called experiencing, and I was hoping, because a problem that I feel that the prosecution did is things that were yes or no answers. They were allowing this fool to go on and elaborate and talk about how afraid he was and all the crime in this community, which there's no evidence supporting that they had all this crime in this community. Okay. And so he's talking about how traumatized he was. I wanted the prosecution to ask him, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how traumatic was this incident for you? Now, the fool's on the stand, he would probably say a 10.
10 plus.
A 10. And then the prosecution should have said, if this was traumatizing to you on a level 10, on a 0 to 10 scale, how traumatizing do you think it was for Ahmaud Arbery, who you were stalking and trapped like a rat, as they said? How traumatizing do you think it was for him? Because if this was a 10 for you, bumbling idiot racist that you are, that means that Ahmaud would be off the charts. He wants the jury to sympathize with him on how traumatic it is that he killed someone, instead of them focusing on the true victim in the situation and how traumatizing it was how traumatizing was his last moments on the planet. Because that's a black man's nightmare, that you running through a neighborhood in the South and a pickup truck with Confederate flag on the plates pulls up and you got 3 hillbillies coming after you with rifles, shotguns, and a .357 Magnum. That's a nightmare. Okay. Here's my next piece of mental health and illness in the news. Mental health and illness. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And here's the thing about this Kyle Rittenhouse trial. We talked about this last week. This is the case, he was 17 at the time. He's being tried as an adult, as he should, because he's a killer. And this was based out of Wisconsin. A black man had gotten shot 7 times by the police in front of his children. And so there were protests going on. Not riots. There were protests going on. And Kyle Rittenhouse is a young fool who went out of his way. He didn't even live in the state.
Once again, he inserted himself in that situation.
Looking for an opportunity he was hoping he'd kill some black people.
Kill some black people.
I'm going to go kill some black people.
Like they go deer hunting.
Basically. He came from another state, went around any police barricades or anything to insert himself in the protest, ended up shooting 2 people and killing them. He shot 3 people. He killed 2 and 1 survived. Here's my thoughts on this case. I kind of wish that the black pastors were showing up at that trial because, and the jury is in deliberation right now. Although the 3 people he shot, none of them were actually black. He shot 3 white people. But this is still a race incident.
It is. It's the principle behind it and what in his mind, what his intention was.
Exactly. And I think that the 3 white males that he shot, in memory of the 2 who died and out of respect for the one who survived, black preachers in the black community should be standing by them, because those 3 gentlemen were there in support of a brutal racist incident between the police officer and the gentleman that they shot, and the black community was out protesting and they were there in support, and they ended up getting shot. But I am worried.
I think he wanted to shoot them on purpose.
He tried to claim self-defense, that they were coming after him, but he's the only fool with a gun. Okay, there was one other African American with a gun, but his gun was not drawn. He's saying that he shot them because they were coming after him, but what they were doing was trying to get the gun from the fool because he had shot the first person. So they weren't coming after him like, oh, we're gonna beat you up just because you're here.
You already shot one person, so we're gonna try to get you so you don't kill some more.
And the fact that they were white, to me, makes it significant that these were not black men coming after him to remove this gun from him. It was white men. He can't even say it was about race for them that they were coming after him because they were white and he killed them. And so I just think that the black community should be in support of his getting convicted, regardless of the fact that he didn't kill any black people, because
he wanted to.
That's what he was there for. And he killed white people who are supportive of black people. Same difference to me.
Same thing.
The judge in this case is absolutely ridiculous. He is explosive and goes off. The judge, I'm gonna tell you, he's such an idiot. When after the closing arguments,
Wisconsin,
the judge was supposed to give the jury their instructions. The judge gets confused and didn't understand the instructions himself. He ends up asking the attorneys. He's talking and is that how you all are understanding? He's asking them. He's the judge. So the jury is confused. Like, I will not be as surprised if he gets off because the judge couldn't explain the stupid instructions, and they were not that complicated. The commentators tried to say, well, it is 63 pages of jury instructions. It's not that complicated. This man has about 7 counts against him, and all the judge was trying to say before he confused himself is, you either think this was self-defense or it wasn't. If you don't think it was self-defense, you start with the biggest, heaviest charge and see if he meets the criteria for that. If he doesn't, then you go to the next one. It's like starting with murder and then going to manslaughter, recklessly and intentional, and then unintentional. Work your way down until you land on something that you feel this racist meets the criteria for. That's all the judge had to say. I just explained that so simply. It just took me a few minutes to explain that. I didn't understand why the judge was going back and forth and getting confused, confusing the jury on explaining these simple instructions. And yes, it is a lot of counts, but still.
Well, hopefully the person that's over the jurors, what are their name? The one person that's over all 12 of them. They're one of the 12. The foreman. Hopefully the foreman will be able to explain and we'll get justice.
Hopefully so. All right. So they're in deliberation. Hopefully that, works out. And
done today. Because it was very simple. It was very simple.
Let me tell you, I don't think the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery are going to get off, but this young boy, it's possible. Okay, we got time for a little bit more mental health and illness in the news. There's a new show based out of, for our listeners, as you know, we're in the metropolitan Kansas City area. There's a new show. It's like Cops, but it is called Real PD Kansas City, Kansas.
Real PD Kansas City.
And so this cop show just started. They've had 2 episodes, I believe. I watched the first one. Within 10 minutes of this show, they showed a detective in the police station that is a few blocks from my dadgum house with a damn shrine to Donald Trump in his cubicle. He had pictures of Donald Trump. One of them was autographed. Okay. In his cubicle, this detective, they were investigating this homicide that had taken place in KCK. But within 10 minutes, if you watching something about the police in your city, and in my case, the police in your neighborhood, and the first thing you see is a shrine to Donald Trump, that's a little alarming. But I'm glad that he did not remove it, because people need to know that, well, people already know that there's racist police officers, but to go to that extent, I'm glad that they showed that. So this show, I haven't watched the second episode, but you need to check it out, Stacey.
Oh, almost definitely is.
Because it's interesting to see so much that is familiar. I mean, it's a national show, to see so much that's familiar, even some of the background, the officers in the background. You know, I was able to look and see, like, okay, I know he got in trouble for police brutality in the past, and so it was just interesting. All right, let's talk about coping with divorce. This is a whole nother story. A man, okay, I'm sorry, this isn't funny. Forget that I just laughed because I didn't mean to. A man named Anton Shabanoff, a 33-year-old engineer in Russia. He got married, and a year later, his wife left him. We're going to talk about coping with divorce real quick, because apparently we need to talk about how to cope with divorce. So anyway, Anton, his wife left him a year into the marriage, so he decided to turn to black magic to get her back. He hired Nikolay Ivanov, a 32-year-old black magic voodoo priest, to get his woman back. I didn't even know they practice black magic in Russia, okay? When did the Russians start practicing voodoo and black magic? Okay, and let me say this. Listen here, listeners. The term black magic does not mean that this came from black people.
No, it do not.
Okay. Apparently.
But they always love saying evil things come. They always give it the name.
They always put black on it. Okay. We're talking about Russians, people. Russians doing black magic. Okay. So Ivanov's ritual involved burying the couple's possessions in the forest to get her back. But during the ritual,
it sounds like this is about to be a funny story. They go back in the doggone woods and get all their stuff and said, bye-bye now. Black magic on you.
This story is so not funny. This story is not funny. It has this is a tragic story. Ivanov's, okay, the ritual involved burying the couple's possessions in the forest. Okay, this is
like what type of possessions?
The Russian black magic voodoo priest said, I'm going to get this woman back for you. We're going to bury her drawers in the forest.
Oh, just
well, during the ritual, Ivanov, they ended up getting into a conflict because Ivanov began to make fun of the husband and insulted the wife.
He insulted the drawers that he picked out to bury?
He didn't pick out good drawers.
He didn't pick out good drawers
in the forest. And I thought the drawers were supposed to be buried in the backyard, but that's American black magic.
That's American black magic.
We talk about Russian black magic.
They got to go to the woods, the forest.
In Russia, you got to bury them drawers in a forest. Okay? Do not, let me tell you all, if y'all plan on practicing black magic, y'all might want to do it the Russian way. Quit burying people's drawers in the backyard. Bury them drawers in the forest. Well, the black magician, black magic practitioner is the better term.
Yes, that's his name.
He started making fun of this man and his wife. They get into a fight, and Ivanov, the black magic practitioner, grabbed an axe and killed the man, the groom, by striking him in the head and the neck with the axe.
So it was a happy story at the end. The wife got a
What?
good
No,
old
he's
insurance.
dead, D.
Yeah, but the wife got a good insurance policy.
Oh, yeah, because I believe technically they're still married.
Because guess what? He was an engineer.
They weren't divorced yet.
Yeah.
She had just left.
Yeah.
So
she will always remember him and will always love him.
Hold up.
When she's in her brand new Benz.
I can't believe, Mr. Walker, why you let the D pull me down that hole she just pulled? After I said it, okay, hold on. I am not saying that I agree with the D that this is a happy ending because this woman got life insurance.
His name on the license plates. He will always have her.
This is not a happy ending. This man is dead.
all he was doing was hiring somebody to bury his wife's drawers in the forest. He didn't deserve to die. He didn't deserve to die.
They got her back.
The Nikolai Ivanov, the black magic practitioner, after he killed this man, Anton, he just covered his body up with branches and fled the scene, where he was later arrested, confessed, yeah, I killed him.
Because he gave me bloomers instead of G-strings, and he got mad.
Listen to this. People think that Russia is so hardcore. Russia is soft on black magic crimes. This fool only got 9.5 years sentence in prison and a fine that was like $100,000.
He's never gonna pay.
So, to you American black magic practitioners,
go to Russia to put somebody's drawers in the forest and kill them, and you're not gonna get that much time. But tell them that you want their possession. So have them go and put the checkbook, their silver, the rings, and just go back and just get it out the forest.
all right, that is our show for today. Of course, I have more ridiculous mental health
pages.
and illness in the news. These stories just get worse.
We're gonna really hope that our technical difficulties were none.
Mr. Walker said everything went okay. All right.
If not, you guys are gonna hear it from me next week.
This is true because you know she's gonna fuss. Mr. Walker, you know she gonna fuss. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh. What?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, because guess who will not be here next Thursday is the D.
Yes. Happy
Nobody be here, so
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. Sit back and think about all the things you have to be thankful for, because that's the root of it. And also to just the fellowship with your family. Getting the food is the extra, but to think about be thankful for the things that you have, the people that you have, and the fellowship with your family. Those are the real pluses in this.
Yes. Remember that Thanksgiving is about being thankful. So no, we will not be here next Thursday. And the Thursday after that, well, no, I'll be back in town by the end.
From out of town?
Yes.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for
okay,
sure.
so we're gonna ask JP and Nadine not to lock their baby in the car, because we will be calling the police.
And we were in the South when we had to call the popos.
So you better be careful.
Thank
Don't
God.
go running, because they might come behind you.
We found a truck driver to get that car open. But we're done with the rental cars now. We're taking our own car on these road trips.
Oh, I don't
yes,
do that.
we're taking a
Oh, but
cars
y'all
are
don't.
like
But y'all don't go,
$500
but guess what?
trip.
Y'all don't even go back and forth to work anymore. So it's not like y'all been in a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Cool
it's
beans.
so much better. All right. So remember, everyone, worry about nothing.
And pray about everything.
Thank you for joining us, and God bless.
Bye bye now. Remember to like us on Facebook
And share.
and share.
All right.